Good morning, students. Uh, Today, we are going to discuss rights in our Indian Constitution. This chapter belongs to 11th class political science, and it is your second chapter in the book Indian Constitution at Work. But in your previous classes, you have read about your rights, and in ninth class also you discussed about your rights. It was your last chapter in your democratic politics book. So in your daily life you see that we all people, not only in India but all over the world, people have been given some rights. Actually, when America, USA became free, the ruler decided to provide some rights to the citizen of the US. In this way, a bill was passed that was called Bill of Rights. Rights are a declaration by government and not only government but constitution also that stops the government to violate your rights. It ensures that each and every citizen must have some particular rights, because many times the ruling party or the government tries to become dictator. Then if the rights of people or citizens are violated, who will protect their rights? It is the constitution of that country that protect the rights of citizen. And many times these rights fall in danger. In such situation, there is the need to protect these rights. So it is necessary that citizens must be protected by these rights, as well as legislature, executive and judiciary and bureaucrats. They also can violate the rights of citizens because they are powerful. Therefore, the constitution makers decided to protect the rights of citizens. In 1928, a committee whose president was Pandit Motilal Nehru, they decided and they raised voice for the rights of citizens. So it was obvious that when our constitution was being made, this issue was kept in mind, that citizens should be given some rights. And then these rights were enlisted in the constitutions, and these rights were called fundamental rights. Now, first we should know what are rights. Rights are the facilities or powers by the constitution to the citizens of a nation for their all-round development. Means without rights, man cannot make remarkable progress. Now, we call them fundamental rights. Then why do we call them fundamental rights? These rights are called fundamental because these rights have been given to us or citizens by the Constitution. And the Constitution is the fundamental source of our rights. That's why we call these rights fundamental rights. Our Constitution has given us 6 fundamental rights. But before coming to this point, I will discuss here some rights given in the Constitution of South Africa. The Constitution of South Africa was enacted in December 1996. And this constitution was enacted when the apartheid government had been removed and South Africa was struggling against a civil war. Then the maker of the Constitution, they decided to protect the rights of all citizens. And it is the Constitution that decided not to discriminate any citizen on any base. And this is the Constitution that gives vast rights or maximum rights to the citizens of South Africa. Like right to respect, right to privacy and labor concern, health, residence and health facilities, food, water, social security and child right and basic and higher education, right to information, culture, religious and linguistic rights. So many rights have been given in the Constitution of South Africa. So now we come to rights given in our Constitution. So you remember well and you know well that 6 fundamental rights have been given in our Constitution. Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, a right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. So these are the 6 fundamental rights which have been given to us by our Constitution. Here we will discuss today about the right to equality. It is the first right. It is the first right that has been given in our Constitution. So today we will discuss only this one today, and later we will discuss other rights one by one. Here the Constitution establishes equality among all the citizens. It declares that no citizen will be discriminated on any base. It establishes equality before the law. That means, in the views of justice, in the views of court, no citizen will be given a special status. It means for the same crime, either it has been done by a rich or the poor, the punishment will be same. All people will be treated equally before the law. And it gives protection to all the citizens. It establishes equality on the basis of religion, caste, gender, birthplace. No person will be discriminated. Suppose if a person who lives in Delhi and he wants to start his business in any part of the nation, no state government can stop him or her on this base, that he cannot do work here or there. No, because the whole nation is his home. And no person will be discriminated while in shops, hotels, wells, tanks, bathing ghats, roads, etc. Actually, in earlier period, when people were not educated, in our country, many people were discriminated on the basis of their caste. And the lower class people, they were not allowed to enter a temple. They were not allowed to sit with a higher class person, higher caste person. They were not allowed to take wells, public wells, and public tanks also. And many times they were not allowed to have bath at the public bath, public ghat. So this way they were discriminated. But when our constitution was enacted on 26 Jan 1950, it was ensured that all citizens will be treated equally. Next is equality of opportunity in public employment. It means while giving employment, it will not be considered that to which community the person belongs. Whether he belongs to upper caste or lower caste, it does not matter. Only his qualification will be considered. Later, I will at the end I will discuss about some exceptions also. In same way, abolition of untouchability. It means that no person can be discriminated on the basis of his caste or her caste. Mahatma Gandhi's dream was that every person should be equal, because we all are equal. If a person has taken birth in some lower caste, it is not his crime. He is not responsible for this. Even our ancestors, they also established equality in the society. If you see example from Ramayana, Lord Rama and Nishad Raj, were they not friends? Did Lord Rama not eat the plums offered by Shabri? Was there any discrimination? No. This untouchability came in our society in later period. So, the scholars who prepared the Constitution of India, they knew well about this. And that's why they tried to abolish this untouchability. The next is abolition of titles. Now, abolition of title means actually during the British period, the persons who were loyal to British period, they were awarded with some titles like Rai Bahadur, Jang Bahadur, Knights, and so many other titles also, Nawab Sahab. But these were given on the base of their prosperity or their loyalty to the British government. So, our constitution maker found that it is not good for a unique nation or for an independent nation where they wanted to establish equality. That is why they decided to abolish the titles also. Now, at present, some educational degrees, some military ranks, these are still in existence because they do not establish discrimination. Each and every person, without knowing his caste, he can study and get that degree. Like in military, there are so many titles, rank according to rank like major, major general, brigadier, etc. But these are ranked in military, not a title. In same way, Government of India also gives award to the person who have contributed in social welfare, and they are awarded for their contribution to the upliftment of society as well as of nation. So, government also awards some people like Padam Shri, Padam Bhushan, Padam Vibhushan, and even Bharat Ratna also. But these titles are given to inspire others, to motivate others to do something for society as well as for the nation. So, that is why such type of equalities were established in the society. Even if you want to do something in a nation that is not harmful for any society or person, then it is allowed to everyone. But there are some exceptions of these rights also. Like I told you about equality, that persons are not discriminated on the base of their race and caste. But you see in our daily life that many times when government or any agency advertises for recruitments where people can apply for the job, then normal people have to pay much amount, while the people belonging to scheduled caste or the lower caste, they have to pay lesser. Is it not the violation of right to equality? Then the answer is no. Because in earlier period, they had been discriminated so much that they could not rise, and that's why they were given concession for this. So, in this way, the government tried to establish equality. So, this is the right to equality. I hope now you are able to understand what is right to equality. Next time, we will discuss about the right to freedom. right? In this way we will discuss about it. Till then you have to read this carefully and prepare your notes, like what are rights, why do we call it fundamental rights. Number 2, write a short note on Bill of Rights. And number 3, describe the features of right to equality. Describe the features of right to equality. Have a good day. Thank you.